Next up, and we've got a similar story, which is also really inspiring. And I want to introduce to you Chris Teo and also T Tofale for the USO bike ride, and I'll just hand the time over to them, and because we're running a little short, and without any introduction, they can introduce themselves.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Chris Teo. I just want to acknowledge just the Cancer Society for giving me the opportunity to come and present this afternoon, and just also the other panel members that have already spoken and those that are about to speak as well, just about sharing their stories. I know it is such a difficult thing to do. For this afternoon, though, I'm just going to say a very few words, and then we're just going to watch a documentary. Then I'm going to get T to come up and just do a short presentation in terms of what we hope to achieve later on in the year. One of the things that my mother always says is always prepare things. So I've just prepared a few words, and I don't know, but when you do speeches, I have this nightmare that one day you'll open up your speech and it's a shopping list from last week. So. Thankfully, it's not the case today, but ladies and gentlemen, cancer doesn't discriminate, but unfortunately for Pacific people in Aotearoa, New Zealand, our rates of cancer are far greater than that of the general population. Unfortunately, generally our people don't go and access medical services, and generally our overall health statistics are very poor. Many of us know what it's like to lose a loved one to cancer. The feeling of heartbreak, sorrow, and loss never really truly goes away. Regardless of our beliefs, our race or backgrounds, we are always left with the questions of why. When my father was in hospital and the doctor told him there was nothing that they could do and that his cancer was incurable, my father's reply to the doctor was, "I'm leaving it in God's hands now." But as Pacific people and Christians, our faith and belief lets us know that our Lord wants us to lead lives that are productive, fulfilling, and rewarding. I'm sure that in His plan, He didn't have us suffering such high rates of cancer. So, inspired by the Relay for Life event that was held in Pauro 2010, and wonderfully supported by the Cancer Society, in 2011, the first USO bike ride took place. And our goal was not only raising awareness about the high rates of cancer amongst Pacific people, but also about what can be done to reduce the risk of cancer in our lives. Thank you. He was actually in Samoa. He came home, and I think he probably already knew that something was wrong. It wasn't until my sister was washing him, and she said, "You're all yellow." We took him to see the doctor, and basically he was diagnosed with cancer. When he passed away because of cancer, it was heartbreaking. From the time he was diagnosed to the time he passed away, it was only 3 weeks, so it happened so quickly. However, I think he probably knew that something was wrong, but he didn't go and seek medical attention. At the time my father was diagnosed, myself and Mark were actually training to do the Taupo cycle challenge. Dad basically passed away the Monday before the actual event. It was a really tough time, and I wanted to do something that would, honor my dad's name, but also help other people that are going to go through the same thing, or who are going through the same thing that we went through. So that's how I sort of came up with the initiative to do the bike ride. The first person I thought about doing it was my brother-in-law, because he's a cyclist.
Quite often you want to do something about a situation, but you don't know what it is you can do. And so I was given this opportunity by Chris, and I thought I could support him and do all I could to help him out. We keep saying to ourselves, it's not a race, so yeah, it's about finishing in one piece, so yeah. So that's the objective, and I think we're going to have a fantastic time and meet some fantastic people.
I think this is an awesome initiative for them to take this challenge in order to promote awareness. We've lost a lot of lives because of cancer. So often that we find ourselves being diagnosed way too late. I think it's about time for us to talk about it for the sake of our children and also for the sake of our future generation. As Chris and Mark start their endeavor, today, dear Father, we ask you to bless each and every one of us.
Couldn't have asked for a better start to the day. To have a blessing by Reverend Victor was, just fantastic. The important people to talk to in the church, and to have someone, a minister who's a leader in the church like Victor, to actually be open about the issues and get his congregation talking about the issues is, what I think is part of the USO bike ride. I'm looking forward to going to church. It's just to meet with another church and have the opportunity there.
We take life for granted. Often, only when we feel sick, that's the only time we go to the doctors. The problems we have, from my own experience, that whenever the word cancer is mentioned, that it seems that people relate it to death, and it seems there's no hope for them to live. We must be aware that there are other help available.
I think it's just about, how you can actually model that in terms of giving them the support that they probably need, providing them with the information. I don't know, perhaps that's the challenge for us, is to actually keep the momentum going.
The road is long, but it doesn't mean a thing when you're the one that awaits me. The sun may shine, the rain might fall, but I'll keep rolling
The time
on.
it took it all was a really inspiring time for all of us, just in terms of the welcome we got to actually ride in with all the children, clapping and, it was wonderful.
And I'll keep rolling on.
To have that type of reception, and then, the blessing by the Reverend Puru.
Well, people sometimes do not want to go to see the doctor, shy and costing, those type of things. But which is bigger, your health or the money or your shyness?
It's a really wonderful opportunities for Tokoro people to see exactly what these riders try to pass the message, because cancer is really hard disease that we are facing at the moment.
Also been invited to actually attend the men's group was special as well. It's something that's probably needed and can, should be looked at in terms of being replicated elsewhere. Just for the fact that, it was a forum whereby men could actually talk about issues that are very sensitive to themselves, and where they don't feel threatened, where they can have a good laugh. And, half the thing about, Pacific Islanders is the ability to tell stories, and providing them the forum for that is the important thing.
For us, it was a great opportunity to actually to try and raise awareness in relation to cancer.
I think what you guys are doing here is pretty much what Chris's idea was, is to get Pacific men talking and sharing with each other.
If I had any doubts about trying to finish this thing, they were sort of all dispelled by just, the people I've met, especially Tokoro. Yeah, the cycling today was pretty good. In fact, I thought it went really well. In terms of the timing, we got a flatty. And Mark was able to change that quite quickly. But Mark pointed out that it was all downhill, and I just can't tell the difference uphill downhill, because it felt like uphill some of it. So yeah, but for me it was great, and it's just becoming part of the daily routine. I think the actual way we've planned it is good, because tomorrow's a big day, big challenge ahead tomorrow.
often members of our community are a bit hesitant about seeking medical help, and so anything that can encourage them to go in the early stages I think is very important.
We were brought up to be private, and that's one of the barriers that I see. It's holding us back, knowing the information.
Taufale is joining us today. He's a mate. We used to work together at social welfare, so I've known him for a long time. I haven't seen him or heard from him for a long time.
I think it's an awesome ride. It's a huge challenge for the boys, for Chris and Mark, because of the distance and because of their experience in cycling, so that's a huge challenge. But when you weigh it up against the cause and what it's for, it pales in comparison to the need of our people in helping those who are cancer sufferers.
He's a great athlete and he's a bike rider, so I have no doubt he'll be more than prepared, you know, yeah. And he's a good friend, so for him to come and join us will be fantastic.
It needed to be done, especially for Pacific Island and Māori men and women, because there's not enough said about it. We don't speak enough about it openly. We're quite shy in some ways. It's quite personal. I've said to up until the point where my dad passed away, I sort of said to him, you know, he died of lung cancer, and I said, Dad, you need to go in and get checked out. Oh, no, you know, it's taboo. And same with my mum. I'd ask her about pap smears and getting a breast done, and she was looking at me like, son, what are you doing talking to me about this, you know? But because I'd been there and done that sort of thing with my cancer, you know, I could openly talk about it.
I don't think anything could have gone any better than how it has been for the last 2 days. Just simply for the fact everything sort of went our way in terms of the traffic, but also the fact that, you know, my good friend Taufale came over, and great experienced rider, and just really led the way for us. And then his mates came in for the second day, and they were just wonderful to actually have. I said to Mark before we even started this journey that we're going to be so, you know, blessed and so gifted with what we're going to get from this journey. Any physical pain that we're going to endure is just minimal in comparison to what, you know, the sort of what we're going to get out of it, you know, and you know, it's going to be something that's going to be with us for the rest of our lives. At the time my father was diagnosed, initially they said that it was good that they'd got it early, but when they went to do the operation, they basically just opened him up and just closed him back up again and said that there was nothing they could do and they just had to go home. So it was a really tough time. I don't think anything, like if I'd known anything or done anything, I don't think it might have changed things. But, you know, I think because, you know, Dad's gone now, there's nothing, you know, that myself or my family can do or say that'll change things. So, but I think, if anything, I think we have a responsibility to try and help people who will go through similar things like us, if anything, and to help them understand and also have the support mechanisms in place.
The road is long, but it doesn't mean a thing when you're the one that awaits me.
Everything that happened was so positive on the you know, for the whole experience, and to have it, you know, sort of end on the note today was wonderful. Really mixed emotions, you know, you try to keep them in check, and you know, yeah, it was just wonderful to see, because I had so many of my friends there, and you know, they're really supportive, and you know, I mean, really close friends, to see them there, but also just my family as well. For me, it was more, I don't really look at it as an achievement, more as a service to our people, and just, you know, honouring my father's memory.
The sun may shine.
I mean, cancer's been all through my family as well, and then Nairi being diagnosed with breast cancer was a huge blow. To me, it was a great honour, and it was just a real privilege. He was the one that had the dream and the inspiration, and it was a great privilege to be a part of that. And I really felt honoured to be able to change his tyres and and help him through it. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that I'll never forget.
Hopefully the momentum that started from this, can carry on in terms of looking at how we can improve, information and services for our people. That's the key thing, I think.
I think this is great. This could be the first step forward for our people to really know where to get help and also the right information.
Go to the doctor. Go to the doctor and don't hold it back until the last minute. If you get it, you'll get it. Perhaps if you go to the doctor, there is a chance of being helped.
As anything, I think for Pacific Island men to take leadership in terms of their own health, in terms of, these issues, in terms of accessing services, but also, just looking after themselves better in relation to just their general health, exercising, diet, those sorts of things. And just by setting an example, I think would go a long way in terms of, addressing, our high rates of cancer within our community. Cancer, it's just a disempowering disease in any which way that you look at it, and it doesn't matter what colour you are, it affects everybody.
O te whaatalofa atu, ma whaawhailoa i atu i sungafo mai, a meis fo i au whaingarawinga, i le maloloina o le soifoina o tangata Pasifika, a meis fo i tangata whenua, e no whaatasi nei nu o Aotearoa. O te si ia fo i le viinga o le tua, ma le whawhtai mo le alofa, ia ia a wawa au maua le nei a whanoa, e whaisinga tala pupui, i nei mata upu o le mai o le cancer. My name is Talalei Taufale. Obviously, you can tell I'm Samoan by my looks. About the USO bike ride, USO in Samoan means brother. And for us, we've taken the three words USO and we've created a bit of an acronym. It's about understanding, strengthening, and overcoming. And also you can, when you from a male to a male, you call each other brothers also, and also from a female perspective as well, from a sister to a sister, you'll call each other brother. These are our partners this year. Towards the end of our ride with Chris last year, I was fortunate to be with him. I suggested that this is a powerful medium and it's a powerful way for us to share, and we need to do it for New Zealand. And this year, a group of 12 Pacific Island and Māori men will ride the length of the country sharing this message. It's not quite like the Tour de France, but it's just a different take in New Zealand. Our values, as you can see, is teamwork and representing Pasifika and Māori peoples with integrity, humility and respect. Our goals, encourage Pacific and Māori men to get checked, promote healthy living through exercise and diet, and improve access to health and physical activity services. Now, I'm down here in Wellington because I'm here to see my father-in-law who has cancer, and he's in Lower Hutt. And I just want to take my hat off to all the oncology nurses and all the professionals who have been servicing him. I was really impressed. I'm the Pacific Health Development Manager in Hawke's Bay, and so when I walked into the Hutt Valley Hospital, I was quite impressed with the surrounding there and the feedback that he's had from his nurses. He's overcome bowel cancer, and now he's going through a bout of throat cancer. So just one word for him was just to harden up and he'll be right. Anyway, our journey, 1,182 kilometres in the North Island. We're doing this in October, as you can see. South Island, 902 kilometres. The thing about this is the awareness that I mentioned, and one of the things I'm battling, because I'm the project leader with Chris and my wife Miriama, is with NZTA, because even though we are 12, right from the top of the country to the bottom of the country, I get emails, I get phone calls about people that want to join us, that want to ride with us. And when you've got all these legal requirements and everything you have to meet, at the end of the day, we're all entitled to use the road. And I have to go to NZTA. As much as I might say to people not to join us, what happens if one day we walk out and there's 50 people that want to ride with us? What do we say to them? Just ride behind us, follow us 100 metres behind us. Is that what we say? So it's an interesting sort of predicament we're in. It's not cheap either. All these people are our USO team for 2012. We have to, it'll cost us at least 60,000 to get this thing off the ground. That's through all our sponsors and everything, and even the riders have committed to payments as well. That shows their dedication. We have a series of camps. We've got a good range of Pacific Māori men in there, and Steve's there supporting, and I promise you, Steve, we'll have a bike for you because I know you want to ride with us. He'll be in the support crew. And so these are our partners. Just what we've achieved so far. Everyone thinks in terms of that framework. You know, when you come up with an idea, a lot of us in mainstream, when you go to funding, and especially in health, we like to put things in boxes. And we say, well, where does it fit? And you see, this initiative isn't something that we created that would fit into one box or another. It's an initiative that we created for everyone. And at different stages, the people who have jumped on board have said, yep, we want to jump on board because of the kaupapa. Now, when we look at what we've done so far in terms of awareness, it's not a one-off event. We've been negotiating with Tangata Pasifika, Māori TV, Te Puni Kōkiri, Ministry of Pacific Island Affairs, all those people about how we can create the awareness for our people prior to when we leave. Tangata Pasifika are going to film us. Māori TV are going to utilise our and help share the awareness. One of the things they really liked about our ride was it's not a fundraiser. And one of the things I'm really pushing for our whānau is that rather than give you $15 to church for a week or to us for a fundraiser, use it to see the doctor. If there's one thing you can do with your money, use it to see the doctor, because half the time you probably don't even know where your money's going on these fundraising sorts of things. And so that's what we're advocating. We're negotiating with local community. I'm working with Bike NZ as well up in Hawke's Bay. I just had a meeting the other day about how we can create a stretch of road 20 kilometres where the whole community can ride. And there's anyone that wants to ride with us can come and ride. We'll have a lead police vehicle and a tail vehicle as well. And 2 kilometres out from the place where we're going to reach, we're going to have our schools join us. So it's going to be huge. And that's just in Hawke's Bay. We're doing the same here in Porirua as well with the mayors. Auckland's a different story, of course, with the roading and everything, but we'll see how we go. So we've got support from Cancer Society groups and DHBs, and that's where your role comes to play, because as we're promoting this and as we come in, we need to make connections. We need to make connections with you. And the more of you that we have at our community hui, giving their cards out, showing your faces, introducing yourselves to our whānau, we're starting to make those connections, because people say it's a one-off event. And I'm saying, no, this is an opportunity for you and your DHBs, and I'm working with all your colleagues to come along and meet our people. And from there, you can form that partnership, engagement, and set up your meetings with communities and churches so that you can get into the community and service them. So yes, I and Māori Hawke's Bay, huge initiative. They're supporting us as well, and we help tautoko with them up in the Bay as well. Even down here, Tristine Emery and Kevin Nicholson, the winners of our events in the past, they're supporting Chris as well in the group, because a lot of the boys in Wellington have never cycled before. And when I told them we're cycling the whole way, every day, on average 168 kilometres every day, you should have seen the looks on their faces at the end of last year. And if you know me, every time we achieve a goal, I'll set another bar, and I'll set another bar. So I keep raising the bar for our guys, and I have high expectations of our guys, because as I said, we're delivering a message, And the last thing our people want to see is when we get into a town, get off our bikes and fall over. Because I know what our grandparents and our elders will say. They'll say, see, that cycling's no good for you. Look how tired they are. The last thing they expect for us to do is to get off our bikes and greet our people as if we'd just done a 5-minute walk. That's the last thing they expect. And even in Hawke's Bay, and if we're talking about outcomes, I used to be a teacher and I've had 5 or 6 previous Samoan boys that I used to teach at schools. They're all in their 20s now. They've come up to me and they've said, when's the USO bike ride? And I said, oh, why is that? Because I've got a bike. How's that for an outcome? Our training, we have camps. We've had one in Napier during the 7th. Again, it's about raising those standards and expectations of our riders and our team. And at our camps, we learn about our kaupapa, why we're doing this. We're learning haka, we're learning waiata, we're learning Pacific songs as well. Why? Because not only does it bring us together as a team, but when we go to our communities and we're welcomed by 1,000 people up in Auckland, I expect us to reply with a haka. And when our boys get up, I don't want our boys to get up who are shying behind the next guy. I want us to get up as proud Pacific and Māori men. So it's exciting, and the boys are taking great heart out of it. We're sending messages just by doing it. And we've got a fitness test in Palmerston North, and the boys aren't looking forward to this. Why? Because it's a 200k ride. Is it a flat ride? No. I've asked for hills and more hills because we need to be pushed. And Les Mills are also supporting. The final thing I'll finish with is international. Why have I got international there? Because even our family in Samoa want us to come to Samoa to do it. They want us to go to Samoa next year to help raise cancer awareness in Samoa. Cancer Society in Hawaii want us to go to Hawaii the following year. We have whānau in Las Vegas as well, because as you know, Pacific people are all over the world who want us to share this message. So we're excited about making this happen. But the important thing for us, and this is coming back to those silos in the health perspective way of how we look at it, is our outcomes. Because not only are we saving and improving the health and well-being of the riders' lives, but I've asked them to do it for their families as well. And what does that mean? For your wife, share it with your wife and your partner, for them to get checked, for your children to live a healthy lifestyle. And because we have extended families, it's about everyone. So it's not just about us. So when we talk about outcomes, we talk about those sorts of outcomes and the difference it makes. And finally, to finish it off, I'll leave this thought for you people, because and this is the challenge I have for my health colleagues up in Hawke's Bay and all over New Zealand. If we didn't do it, who would? Thank you.